Hi, my name is Hat here. I'm finally bringing you guys another GBA battle. Before we get into the battle against FizzyStardust and the Atlanta Hawlucha for Week 9, I just want to kind of touch on a few things for the past and the future for this season of the GBA. For one, the reason there wasn't a battle for Week 8 against Gubstacular and the Arizona Deoxys was because I had a ton of issues with my video editing program as well as the file. But Crowbat for the win so graciously tried to get me like 3 or 4 different file types to get it to work, but I kept getting corrupted files. I'm not sure if it was my end or his end. Regardless, his effort was appreciated and still is appreciated there. If I can somehow get that battle up, I'll try to do it, but it might not be for a few different weeks. If Gubs ever gets out of his slump for recording, hey, who knows, we might get it on his end. But basically what happened is I did lose to Gubstacular in the Arizona Deoxys 3-0, but the battle was much closer to what that score kind of shows. He made some really smart plays to get rid of my Thunderous quite quickly, and he got me in a situation where he knew I'd be comfortable staying in, predicting one thing, and he threw that curveball. I got Thunderous out of the way quite early, which hurt a lot. And then late game, there was a min damage roll on his Mega Pinsir. If I wouldn't have got the min damage roll, it would have killed. But because it didn't kill, he got a Swords Dance up, and that's kind of where things ended. But I say for the future now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be moving out of state. I live in Wisconsin. I'm going to be moving to North Carolina August 12th. So that'll be, I believe, week 10, and maybe the week 11 upload might be a little late. So bear with me on that. If you have questions about matches or anything, feel free to tweet them at the OKC Thunderous Twitter. Link will be in the description. I'm always on that. So if you have questions about games, so bear with me though. If those videos are a bit late, you'll definitely have the other side. But we do have this battle against FizzyStardust here, and his team is so scary for one reason. It's Keldeo. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Keldeo. But that thing is very good, and it runs through my team completely. I have nothing on the team that can safely switch into this thing, which is really scary. The only thing I actually had to go with is Assault Vest Max HP, Max Special Defense for Alligator, and hope he didn't go for Sacred Sword. And I put Aerial Ace on this for Alligator because that was the best thing I had to touch it. So as you see, I have no defensive wall on this team. Everything in here is specially defensive, which is an issue. And my whole idea going into this week was get rid of Keldeo as fast as possible, and then hope to God I can get a sweep off with something. The main thing I was Dragon Rush Garchomp because that thing hits like a truck. And then Thunderous is there doing his thing. But we're gonna lead off with Thunderous. I feel like it has the best matchup, and I'm Scarf Thunderous because of Keldeo. And I knew if I went Scarf, the only thing that he had to outspeed me would be Aerodactyl if he scarfed that himself. And with talking with Fizzy after the game, he said that he scarfed his Aerodactyl for the sole purpose of not letting me get Dragon Dances up with Mega Charizard X, because that runs through his team once Keldeo's out of the way. So turn 1, I had to take that risk that he wasn't scarfed. I couldn't switch out because I don't have a defensive wall, and sure enough, he was scarfed, and he hits the Stone Edge. So I lose Thunderous early, which is not good at all. So it's 2 weeks in a row now I lost Thunderous quite early in the match, but I know he's going to switch out with Garchomp coming in because he had to be scarfed. I knew that, which means he couldn't go for Ice Fang or anything if he had it. So I figured this is a perfect time to get up a Hone Claws. He does get up the Leech Seed, and because this Garchomp isn't a Scarf or anything like that, there is some HP investment, so it won't be hitting as hard. But I figured with the Hone Claws boost, that won't be as big of a deal. But I don't have max attack in this. I'm jolly with 252 HP and then 252 speed, and then a split between HP and attack. I believe it's something just like 128, something just to give it a little bit of bulk. But we're just, I'm not going to speed this part up, but basically this is me trying to just get out here of this defensive wall that he has here, and just with as much HP as possible. I figured a Spiky Shield was coming at some point, which is why I believe I go for the second Hone Claws to get at +2. But yeah, basically this little exchange here is just Dragon Rush everything that comes in. And I expected as soon as Chestnut he's going into Keldeo because he has nothing on his team that really wants to switch into a +2 Dragon Rush at this time. So that's kind of what this game is just going to be, is just get rid of the Chestnut and Dragon Rush some stuff. And like I said, if I can get Keldeo out of the way and Garchomp still has some HP, hopefully I can start doing this again later in the game. But we're finally going to get rid of this Chestnut. The set actually came from the idea of the Fairy Killer Salamence set that I remembered seeing right when it got bumped down to UU, which was Dragon Rush, Hone Claws, Iron Tail, and Roost. And so I kind of just adapted that to this because I figured if I can get Garchomp in, it'll hit hard enough, and that way it won't be locked into something like Outrage if he wants to go into like Mega Aggron or something like that. But he goes in there and I figure, alright, he's probably going for Icy Wind or something of the sort. And look how little that did. This is Assault Vest, max HP, max special defense. That was important to me for that instance because I knew that I could outspeed him with things and he wouldn't hit as hard, but at the same time that tells me that he can change moves and go up for Secret Sword, or is it Sacred Sword, whatever the sword is. It really hurts my team because I have no defensive walls whatsoever. But as you can see, he's a bulky Keldeo, and that Aerial Ace did nothing. Aerial Ace initially, if he was the standard timid like Specs Keldeo with no HP or defense investment, it was like a 3-hit KO or maybe a 2-hit KO depending on damage variation. But as you can see, you know, but the whole goal, like I said, was to get Feraligatr in, weaken the Keldeo, and then hopefully bring something else in that can kill the Keldeo, and then I can have a game from there, because this Keldeo just rips through my team. And maybe even like Registeel, like it couldn't take anything. Like this Keldeo just, it wrecks me so bad. But I debated what I wanted to do here, and I figured I'm just gonna go for the safe Zen Headbutt. I can't play any games, and physical hit did not matter whatsoever. So physical Azelf, I believe, and this is kind of where I mess up. I debated for a long time if I wanted to go for the knockoff, even though I knew it wouldn't kill, or if I just wanted to switch out and preserve my Focus Sash. And I knew that because he had Scarf Aerodactyl, I needed to preserve the Focus Sash, and he goes for the Substitute. And I wasn't thinking Substitute at all. I was thinking maybe he'll go for like a Nasty Plot or a Swords Dance or something like that, or even just, you know, a knockoff of his own or Rocks or something. But he Baton Passes a Substitute into Aggron, which will Mega, and from there it's kind of game over because he's going to get a Rock Polish up. And the thing that could have possibly saved me was me running 2 Sash variants or Sash users on my team. I was planning on actually running Sash Zelf, and I figured running 2 Sash users against Fizzy would be very difficult to do. Especially because I wasn't bringing a spinner, and I knew he had Mew, which could easily set up Rocks, could set up Spikes, could set up Toxic Spikes, whatever you want. So I hated against bringing 2 Sash users, and that ultimately is kind of what outdid me. Because I believe a max special attack Sash Infernape's over here on one-shots it, especially if it doesn't have any special defense. And even then it still might take it out. But I make the call where I have to go into my Sash user just to be able to take it. As soon as he got that Rock Polish up, that this battle was basically over because there was nothing I could do. And look how little that Fire Punch does. I might have just been, you know, better off trying to go maybe Zen Headbutt for stab at that point. But, you know, Mega Aggron is just going to clean up. It was a good game, Fizzy. I hate the fact that your team, specifically Keldeo, completely down because of how ground and, you know, sand-based oriented my team is. And that just, I hope I don't have to play you in the playoffs if you get there, or if even I get there at this point. I believe now we are 5. We are going to be playing Shady Penguin next in week 10. Is it? I think it's week 10. And hopefully we'll keep the trend going of getting the win out of that. You know, not to jinx myself or anything, but I think I have a solid strategy that Shady hasn't seen against me yet, and I'm hoping to continue that trend and get back on the right foot and hopefully get up to 6-4 and finish the year out strong. But thanks, you know, guys, for sticking with me and staying with us. You know, big fans of the Thunder. And go watch Fizzy's side whenever that gets up. All the links will be in the description for the GBA website, the WordPress, the Twitters, all that stuff. Fizzy's channel. I'm sure you guys know Fizzy, as he does Brave Bird everything. I had to sneak that in there. But I'll catch you guys hopefully next week with the next battle, and hopefully I'll be able to keep the hiatus of videos to a minimum. But life kind of gets in the way sometimes. Pokemon or John for the upload again. So it's always good to have some friends who can grab some videos for you. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace.